Welcome to Wreckers Hotline Drag Racing 98, coming to you from Willowbank Raceway at Ipswich. On today's show, we'll bring you all of the highlights of round 3 of the Castrol New Year Series. Heading up the event is First Provincial Building Society Top Fuel Eliminator. It's round 5 of the Australian Top Fuel Championship, and Australian Graeme Cowin and American Glen Mikres are locked together out front on the points. Both want to leave this event with a clear lead. With me is Glen Mikres, driver of Santo Rapisarda's newly imported Top Fuel car. Glen, it's a real war out there, this Top Fuel Series. I've never seen it any closer. What can we expect from the Santo's Cranes team today?
Well, we got a little tune-up run going around 510 at 280, so I think you're going to see a real war tonight. As the sun goes down, the cars are going to pick up dramatically, and the Cowin will come back, and I think you'll see side-by-side fours, and it's going to be plenty exciting, and yeah, we both want to leave with that, so we're going to give it everything we got.
Well, these guys are obviously ready for battle. Tanya Campbell's over with Graeme Cowin. Tanya, are the Shell Rocket boys as fired up as Santo and the boys over here?
You better believe it, Rob. Both of these teams are going to throw everything they've got at each other, the racetrack, and any other team that gets in the way. Graeme, we've seen some pretty close championships in the past, but this year you and Glen seem to be really slugging it out toe-to-toe.
Well, that's what happens when you try hard. They're trying hard, we're trying hard, everybody else is, but it just happens that we're both equal on points. I guess it's like USA versus Australia or vice versa, and I really think that we're here to beat the Yanks, and even though it's Santo's team, it's really it's an American deal, but I really believe that we've got the fans on our side, and I hope we can come through for Australia.
Tanya, what about that magical 300-mile-an-hour barrier? Do you think it can be broken today?
Rob, we've been talking about this magical 300 mile an hour now for some time, but we've got to get the right conditions. Last meeting was just way too hot, and unfortunately those same conditions seem to be prevailing today. However, there is a cool change predicted, and if it comes through, well, both of these teams are capable of being the first in Australia to reach that milestone.
That's obviously something we'll be keeping a close eye on, as are the Pro Stockers. It's a double-header today, Autobahn Pro Stock Eliminator and Serco Pro Stock Motorcycle. Paul Casos has got the story.
That's right, Rob. It's the first time these two classes have run together at a round of the Castrol New Year Series. On the bikes, Jason Lee and Les Donnon on the Castrol machine will be going head-to-head, while on four wheels, Rob Tucker driving the Performance Wholesale Oldsmobile is going for his 4th consecutive win. Rob, a win tonight will really give you an almost unbeatable lead in the National Championship. Does that add pressure in a meeting?
Oh, I suppose it does add a little bit of pressure, Paul, but it's not it won't be an unbeatable lead. It'll be very close, but this is our important round. We need to win this one tonight. We won the away rounds. We didn't run well at home last year. We need to win this one.
Well, the question is, can Rob Tucker become Queensland's newest National Pro Stock Champion?
Thanks, Paul. This third round of the Castrol New Year Series is certainly shaping up to be something really special. So settle back, strap yourself in and enjoy Wreckers Hotline Drag Racing 98. Reasonably good crowd in here at Willowbank Raceway for round 3 of the Castrol New Year Series. Although it has been threatening to rain right around the area, no precipitation at the track at this stage, Paul.
Weather conditions improving, and Robin Kirby there, the Pennzoil Dragster out of Bendigo in Victoria.
This is round 1 of First Provincial Building Society Top Fuel Eliminator. Robin Kirby qualified this Pennzoil car in the number 2 spot. The 3rd meeting in a row he's qualified 2nd. He'll be taking on Roy Smith, the only active resident Queensland Top Fuel team at the moment.
Yeah, Roy Smith and Mick Applewood, been around drag racing for a long time, a lot of experience there. And but Robin Kirby, he really had a disappointing round, the 2nd round of the Castrol Series, but I think he's got the gleam in his eye this weekend.
Your 5-car field in First Provincial Top Fuel Eliminator. He's the number 2 qualifier. If he can get past Roy Smith here, he'll get a bye run in the semi-final. Put him straight into the final, and that's what he's after. He wants those championship points. He's left with a big lead over Roy Smith. This car looks pretty quick this time. 513, 454 kilometres an hour. That's his quickest ever pass.
You'll be pleased with that as Glen Mikres now driving Santo Rapisarda, Santa's Cranes Dragster comes to the line.
This is the relatively new car imported from the United States. It was last driven by Scott Polito over there and has run some very, very quick times in America. They've been trying to come to terms with the new combination here. Mikres is number 1 qualifier for the Santo's Cranes team. But Paul, the conditions, it is still very warm and what's worse, extremely humid. This isn't exactly great for top fuel cars.
No, not the ideal conditions to be able to generate the horsepower that these cars can produce. But Glen Mikres flown in from the United States to drive this race car this weekend.
Car running fairly well. Have a look at the speed. 517, 438 kilometres an hour. Not quite as quick as Kirby.
The next pairing on the screen now is Terry Sainty. This is the Eagles lead dragster, the all-Australian built dragster out of Sydney.
He's up against Graeme Cowin, currently equal first in the championship with Glen Mikres. These guys are at war. It's a midpoint in the championship, and whoever leaves Willowbank Raceway in front is going to have a big advantage going into the second half of the season.
Graeme Cowin, of course, had a win here, the second round of the Castrol Series over the Australia Day long weekend, and was runner-up the following weekend to Glen Mikres, running in Calder Raceway.
First Provincial Building Society Top Fuel Eliminator. These guys are looking for a spot in the semi-final. Graeme Cowin for Shell Industries and Rocket. He's got a problem. Terry Sainty, the underdog, he'll get there. 550, 404 kilometres an hour.
So a good win there, and we'll see it on replay now. Gerry Sainty there really getting the power to the ground well. Graeme Cowin's
bit of tyre shake there, I'd say, Paul, and it was all over for Cowin. Sainty's long gone.
Motorcycle, one team has virtually dominated the class since its inception. I'm talking about the combination of Castrol Suzuki team owner Trevor Burrell and Les Donnon. This pairing has won the championship 5 out of the 7 times it's been run. Les, in the past couple of years we've seen some really great battles between you, Gavin Eales and the Serco team. But this year things are really getting tougher still with Jason Lee breathing down your neck. How are you enjoying the added competition?
Yeah, the class really needs the competition to keep it interesting for the crowd. So with Jason Lee coming up there, new young talent always helps.
Now this year will be the first year that Pro Bike has had 2 rounds in the season here at Willowbank. Has the added travel time from your base in Adelaide been difficult, or are you looking forward to returning for the Quatrocchi Winter Nationals in June?
We always like the Winter Nationals. The conditions for racing are pretty good. The weather here is not treating us real kindly, but I mean, we enjoy Queensland. The people up here are good, and Castrol up here always look after us.
Well, here's Les Donnon, #1 qualifier in Serco Pro Stock Motorcycle. He's up against Scott Lynch, the local Brisbane guy.
Yes, just looking over the shoulder there is Les Donnon, very experienced racer, multiple Australian champion, and taking on, as we said, our local rider in Scott Lynch.
Have a look at that. Donnon has, asserted his superiority right from the start. He's going to run this bike through. The conditions aren't great for these naturally aspirated engines, but he still runs a strong 780.
Next pairing to come to the line, Peter Cochrane, and taking on Peter Cochrane is our Japanese visitor,
Aki Yamamoto.
Well, it's a long way from Osaka in Japan to Willowbank Raceway, but Aki Yamamoto, after buying Gavin Eales' Pro Stock motorcycle, has decided to stay on here and take in tonight's meeting. Aki, how are you enjoying your trip to Australia?
Yeah, here it's very nice and I really enjoy here, and track is very nice and I like here.
How do the conditions for racing here compare to those back home in Japan?
More than Japan, I love this track here. And I really enjoy it and very comfortable.
Well, Aki Yamamoto taking on Peter Cochrane. Yamamoto in his first race meeting on this particular ex-Serco motorcycle. This is a close run thing. 100th of a second, Cochrane gets it.
Yeah, 8:05 at 255 kilometres an hour there for Peter Cochrane, as the next pairing of Jason Lee on the Suzuki taking on...
This is Paul Andrews out of Melbourne on the 1327 Suzuki. Jason Lee is on a roll, actually. He's running second in the Australian Championship, has won a couple of rounds this season. Paul Andrews, of course, ex-national champion in comp bike eliminator, now moved up to the professional ranks.
Well, the pre-stage lights are on, waiting now as both bikes move in. The pros start and away they go. Clean greens they are. This is a close race. Watch the bikes as they run on through.
Jason Lee's in trouble. Andrews has got him. 8:34, 2:46 mile an hour, and there's an upset.
The next bike to come to the line now is Daniel Peatey riding the Suzuki.
This pro stock motorcycle for Serco has been action-packed already. Dennis Ackland on the ICI Auto Colour bike out of Melbourne, Victoria. He's over there on the far side of the Willowbank Raceway. Once again, one of the well-performed guys in pro stock motorcycle. A real veteran, does a lot of engine building in the superbike classes as well for circuit racing. Here he is about to see if he can make it into the semi-final of Serco Pro Stock Motorcycle.
Stages now waiting as they both come to the line. It's a big field of bikes here today. Away they go once again. Clean greens.
Tell you what, a big hole shot there, but it looks like Ackland's got the mile an hour. Ackland's been able to come round him into the 7-second zone, and he's through.
Moving on now to Pro Stock Eliminator, brought to you by Autobarn. And we have Gerry Parente out of South Australia taking on the Queenslander in Tony Wedlock.
Tony Wedlock is determined to do well today. He had a very disappointing round at Melbourne's Calder Park Raceway in January. A small ignition part let him down and he failed to qualify. He's done a lot of testing at Willowbank. The car is looking strong. Parente qualified a fair way down the order this afternoon. There were 10 cars trying to make their way into this 8-car field. Away they go, and Wedlock is driving away from Parente, looking... He's in trouble. That car, no top gear, I'd say. Parente's come back round him. Shocking luck for Wedlock, an 8:24, and Gerry Parente moves into the next round.
The next competitors to the line now are Craig Hasted, the Prager Performance Ford Thunderbird, taking on fellow Queenslander Kim Petterwood and the Lifestyle Speed Flow Products Pontiac.
Petterwood with a new engine under the bonnet out of Joe Polito's Computer Engine Design Workshops in Sydney. Now Craig Hasted, he qualified 5th, his best qualifying position in a Pro Stock Championship round. Now the Craigar Performance team have had the engine on the dyno at Craigar Performance, simulating hot, humid conditions. They figured the weather would be bad this weekend. They spent 2 weeks testing the engine in lousy air, and it's paying off so far. He's out in front of Petterwood.
Yeah, Petterwood and Hasted. This is a close race this time. Petterwood, Hasted, Petterwood, 795, 271 kilometres an hour.
Only 1/100th of a second across the finish line for that one. Championship leader Rob Tucker in the Performance Wholesale Oldsmobile. The Brisbaneite, he's really running strong, has won 3 out of 3 rounds of the Australian Championship. He'll be taking on Rob Quatrocchi in the Chev Beretta out of South Australia.
Our car really steps up when the air changes, probably a little bit more than some of the others, so it'll be nice to have a little bit of an advantage.
Of course, Rob there speaking about that predicted cool change that was supposed to come through Willowbank Raceway. Paul, I don't think it's got here. It's still as hot and muggy as ever.
Yeah, nothing's arrived as yet, but Rob Tucker just waiting for his car now to move forward, taking on the South Australian, and away they go. Tucker, Quatrocchi, Tucker, this is close. Wait for the lights at the bottom end, and it's Tucker, yes, 794, 273 kilometres an hour.
Well, Tucker keeps moving up the ladder. John O'Carney in the John William Auto Sales Pontiac now. Yet another Brisbane racer up against defending champion Joe Polito in the Dynamax Ford Probe.
The local guys are sort of mastered the track under these conditions, and we've had to come here and sort of put a tune in. We thought it'd work, and we went down there and it didn't work, so we had to come back out and play the game again, and luckily it worked for us, and the air's getting better, and hopefully we can go a little bit faster this next round.
See if it works this time, and the lights go to green. Polito in the Ford. The power of this Ford is quite something else, and he takes it away this time. 273 kilometres an hour, 7.93 seconds.
Top Fuel semi-final for First Provincial Building Society. Robin Kirby, the number 2 qualifier. He'll have a bye run here. And the way Kirby's been running, Paul, I think he's going to be really pushing it over the first half of the racetrack at least because he'll want to check how his tune-up is with these very hot and humid conditions.
Robin Kirby's running personal best with this race car, and since he's really stepped it up with Pennzoil on board now, Robin Kirby has become a real threat in top fuel racing throughout Australia. He had a disappointing second round at Willowbank, the luck of the draw really in qualifying and the way it happened, but I think this weekend maybe another story. Away he goes, winding this top fuel dragster up on a bye run. He runs a 5:23, 428 kilometres an hour.
He did click it off early, but have a look at the right-hand exhaust on this car. It's not clean. It's flashing. The slow-mo really does depict it well. Not as clean a run as it could be.
Well, Robin, it's been a long time since you've been in the final here at Willowbank. How does it feel?
Well, it feels pretty good on that particular run, around 5:23 or something like that, and I was off the pedal before the finish just to conserve the car for the final, but I think we'll give Glen or whoever wins this next race a run for their money.
Touring car hero Dick Johnson enjoying the first Provincial Building Society top fuel action right on the start line, Paul, and I think this is a little bit different to the grid at Bathurst.
Glen Mikres taking on the car of Terry Sainty. Now, who will it be to take on Robin Kirby in the final? I guess one's got to say that the experience here of Glen Mikres and the Santo Rapisarda car would make him the favourite, but this Sainty car out of Sydney, the Eagle Silicon Edition leads car, it's really been stepping up a notch in recent times, and Rob, you know, I think we got one hang of a race in front of us this time round.
Well, yeah, these conditions have caught out Graeme Cowin already, but as you say, Glen Mikres, a mile of experience, and the Rapisarda racing crew are as good as any in the country, that's for sure. They've got a proven record of that, and I think they'll be on top of the tune-up for the conditions. Mikres, very settled in the car, moving the Santos Cranes dragster forward. Look at Terry Sainty. He will be keen to try and make his second final at Willowbank Raceway. He did it, I think, at this meeting last year. They come out strong, and Mikres got a problem. It'll be Sainty, 5:35, 417 kilometres an hour. Let's have a look on the Wreckers Hotline replay. Have a look at the front of Glen Mikres' engine. I thought I saw a supercharger belt come off that car. There it is, flapping over the top of the fuel injector, and it was all over from that point on. Small flames for Sainty, but the Queensland Fire and Rescue guys right on the scene.
You've just taken out the big gun in Glen Mikres, so it's going to be an interesting final.
Yeah, never raced Kirby in a final before. I haven't been in that many, so I don't know, I think it'll be interesting.
Now, you've obviously done a little bit of damage here in that last run. Can you tell whether it's going to be serious?
I don't know, I haven't even looked. There's a bit of oil on the tappet cover, but the billet-free valve looks all right.
Well, looks like they'll have a little bit of work to do back in the pits for the Sainty crew before the final of First Provincial Top Fuel. We're going to pick up the action in Wreckers Hotline Top Comp in the semi-finals. But first, let's take a look at how those races made it through to round 3. Kevin Campbell finally found some luck other than bad and had Graham Porter red light against him in the first round, then enjoyed a bye run in the second to reach the semis. He'll face Wreckers Hotline Series leader Steve Swinsko, who disposed of Dennis Paul and third place Scott Leo on the way to his 4th straight semi-final. Russell Schaefer defeated a breaking out Tom Coonan in the first round and number 1 qualifier Debbie Reed in the second. Making his first semi-final appearance of the season is John Payne. He got there with a strong win over Pat Selman in round 1 and by taking out second place Dean McLennan's Castrol funny car in the next. Now let's find out who's going to the final.
So it's Kevin Campbell, the pink stuff, 34 Ford. The car he races with Bob Scott taking on Steve Swinsko in the Chevy Beretta funny car.
Swinsko's the series leader, but I think Campbell wants a crack at him.
We've had to do it tough out here in the top comp bracket. There's some tough races. We just want to show them that, yeah, we can get up there and do it as much as the rest of them. But, yeah, we're looking forward to running Steve Swinsko in the next round. And with a little bit of luck, we're going to give him a bit of a touch-up and go straight to the finals from there.
Fairly confident Kevin Campbell there, but he's taking on the Wreckers Hotline Top Comp Series leader at this stage. Steve Swinsko's had a fantastic season right throughout the 97-98 summer season. Looks like it's going to continue because Campbell's got a problem.
Yeah, Steve Swinscoe drives it through there, a 797, 276.
Have a look at this in the replay. Swinscoe leaves fine, but Campbell, that car was never going to go too far at all.
So it's Swinscoe into the final.
Well, Steve, you're into the finals. Wreckers Hotline Top Comp. It's been a really good night for you.
Yes, I didn't think I'd make it this far today. I've had some problems, but the old girl's still going, so we've been with a chance, which is the best part about it.
Well, John Payne having his best race meeting this season in the JP Racing GDM Wreckers car. He's up against Russell Schaefer, also having a very good event.
Yeah, good indication of the open and closed vehicles in this bracket of competition, but the burnout there we saw from John Payne, really getting those tyres nice and sticky.
Yeah, a little bit crossed up in the burnout in actual fact. Russell Schaefer, a former modified eliminator champion, now running his Caloundra Wreckers Dragster in Wreckers Hotline Top Comp Eliminator. This is his first semi-final since putting the car together. He'll be trying to go one step up the ladder into the final if he can. John Payne, of course, he won the series last year. Hasn't been into a final round so far in 98. This could be the difference for him. I don't think you'll ever see Russell Schaefer lay down though.
Here we go. This is Payne's running well. Schaefer starting to charge it. Payne who gets there, 767, 285. Semi-final now of Autobahn Pro Stock Eliminator, and Kim Petterwood driving the Pontiac.
And of course he's up against Joe Polito in the Dynamax Ford Probe. Now interestingly, Joe is for the first time racing against Petterwood with a Polito engine. Joe built the engine that now resides under the bonnet of the Pontiac. If he gets beaten now, he'll probably regret doing such a good job.
Well, these engines of Joe Polito's, of course, are renowned for their top-end speed. And Joe Polito here, he's really got to pedal hard, though, Rob. It's going to be a tough race taking on Kim Petterwood.
Well, Petterwood in the far lane. These engines producing well over 800 horsepower. Good jump by Petterwood. He's got the lead early. Almost a car length at third track. Half track he's in front. 1,000 foot he's in front. Polito's got him. Oh, just 4,000ths of a second.
Yeah, that was a close one, a 791 there, but Joe Polito there. Look, at this stage, it's Petterwood, and charging right at the end there is Polito.
Have a look at this for a finish. The winning margin was only 4,000ths of a second. You don't get any closer than that. That's what Pro Stock's all about.
It was close. Hey, what can I say? I'm glad when I see you guys run towards us. At least we know we've won it.
Well, you'll be working on cutting a bit of a better reaction time in the finals, I guess.
I'll have to try, yes. Thanks very much.
I'm sure Joe Polito will need a better reaction time in the final when he'll meet either Gerry Parente in his Oldsmobile Cutlass or Brisbane's Rob Tucker in the Performance Wholesale Oldsmobile. Boy, I think the defending champion might have just had a get out of jail on that run. Petterwood really put it to him. Gerry Parente qualified a long way down the qualifying order. Got into the semi-final, of course, when Tony Wedlock had a gearbox problem, and now Rob Tucker. He has won 3 out of 3 championship rounds. He's trying to to string them all together, but first he's got to get past Parente.
Yeah, Rob Tucker really, if he can do well tonight here in this meeting, he's going to be almost unbeatable in the national champion. But he's got a tough competitor this time, and our Andrew Stewart's there keeping a very close eye on competition. But both of these cars about to stage. The pre-stage lights are on. Remember, it's one flash of the amber and they're gone.
I don't think either of them want to stage. The official might have known there was going to be a psych battle on here. Finally, they're in. Now they'll go racing. Looks like it's going to be Tucker all the way. He is very strong in this Performance Wholesale Oldsmobile 794, 271 Ks.
It's going to be some race between you and Joe in the final.
Yeah, thanks, Tanya. I don't know how we went that one. I think Joe went 791. I don't know how we went.
794, I believe.
Oh, okay. Yeah, it's going to be a close one. I guess he's got lane choice, so that's a bit of a problem. That's my favourite lane, but we'll give it our best shot.
So it's Serco Pro Bike now in semi-final time. Les Donnon on the Castrol bike, taking on Queenslander Peter Cochrane, riding the Suzuki.
Pete Cochrane in the DAP Electrical Suzuki having his best meeting in quite some time on that bike. Les Donnon though, I've just jinxed him. Cochrane off the bike, some sort of problem.
Giving the opportunity there, so Les Donnon now to ride it through on his own. Just listen to this bike as he powers it down the quarter mile here tonight at Willowbank Raceway.
A little offline there, 793, 262 Ks for Les Donnon.
Dennis Ackland now, the ICI Auto Colour bike out of Victoria, getting that slick tyre nice and sticky, taking on Paul Andrews riding the Suzuki.
Yes, the two Victorians going head to head for a spot in the final against South Australia's Les Donnon on the Castrol Suzuki. We're at round 3 of the Castrol New Year Series from Willowbank Raceway, and of course Serco Pro Stock Motorcycle, a good strong 8-bike field. It's come down to this. Les Donnon is already through to the final. Dennis Ackland would like to be there, but Paul Andrews would also like to take his place for the first time in a Pro Stock Motorcycle final.
Well, we'll soon see who it's going to be. Both of these competitors stays just waiting on Andrews. And red light for Andrews, so it'll be Dennis Ackland. Ackland to run it right through, but Ackland will face Les Donnon in the final a little later on tonight. 8 seconds at 265 mile an hour.
Dennis, you've drawn a big gun in the final in Les Donnon. How do you think you're going to go?
Oh, I've beaten him before, so we've got a pretty good shot. I noticed he selected 2 gears. He went from 3rd to 5th, I think, in that pass, so we might have a bit of a show. They might be thrashing.
Graeme Cowan's on the outside of the dragster this time.
Well, Graeme, I know you don't like going out early in the night, but it has given the opportunity to hand the reins over to your son Andrew and let him take the car for a run.
Yeah, well, they've allowed us to do a pass with Andrew. Andrew's only done 2 full passes and given an opportunity to get a little bit more experience. So I think he's looking forward to it.
And Andrew, this will be the first time you'll be down the track here at Willowbank?
Yep, sure is.
Looking forward to the run?
Of course I am, always do.
And you plan on going faster than your dad?
Do I? I don't know, he might take the keys off me, but we'll see what happens.
This brings a whole new meaning to the phrase, Dad, can I borrow the car? 18-year-old Andrew Cowin, a good strong burnout. He did licence for Top Fuel at Eastern Creek Raceway last year, and he licensed with a 490. So unbelievable effort for such a young guy. He did that when he was before he'd turned 18. He only just recently had his birthday, and here he is strapped into the Shell Rocket Industries car, 5,500 horsepower behind his head. Hey, this is a way to go for a Saturday night drive.
I guess if there was a person who was born to be a racer, it'd be young Andrew Cowin, and not only, of course, stepping into the shoes here tonight, but a vital member of the crew that prepares this race car.
Well, how would Graeme Cowin be feeling standing there on the start line, seeing his son head down this racetrack? And I noticed Santo Rapisarda out there on the start line with his good friend Graeme Cowin. Here comes young Andrew, wheels in the air, look at the flames, this car is beautiful! 495, that's the fastest run of the day, and he shut it off early. The crew are pretty happy with that. Graeme Cowin, what a job from one of his twin sons, Andrew. Have a look at this on the Wreckers Hotline replay.
Yeah, carries those wheels off the starting line there. The foot's in it all the way, and the car gets a little loose, but well under control for Andrew Cowin.
Fantastic drive there from Andrew Cowin. Now, we're going to pick up the action in Super Comp in the semi-finals. But first, have a look at this first round race from Victor Bray. He was the #1 qualifier and within 1 mile an hour of the world record in the first round. Unfortunately for Victor, he bowed out in the second round to this man, Ian Nielsen, in the Tirana. Nielsen about to take on Colin Lloyd in the Headsense Cylinder Heads Commodore in the semi-final of Performance Wholesale Super Comp Eliminator.
So Super Comp Eliminator been very competitively fought all day out here at Willowbank Raceway. The pre-stage lights are on. These two guys have raced each other many times out here. Ian Nielsen from down on the Gold Coast stages first. Waiting now on the Commodore. The lights tumble and clean greens they are.
Colin Lloyd looks strong in the head sense car. There was a bit of a mind game going on the start line. Won't be too much in it though. Colin Lloyd, 9:35, 2:13 kilometres an hour.
This is John Sting. Now this is a Buick-powered dragster and a very, very competitive race car indeed, taking on Ron Newton, the Headsense Roadster.
Well, we've already got one Headsense car through to the final, and Ron Newton will be trying to join him, I guess. Headsense Cylinder Head sponsor the top qualifier awards out here. There's a bonus if the top qualifier can actually win the event as well. It's never gone off. It's kept jackpot him, and Victor Bray couldn't do it this weekend either, so come April it'll be worth a lot of money.
Away goes Newton there. John Sting about to start the charge. Newton's out in front, charging at him. Sting, does he get there? Yes, he does. 7:23.
We move into now all the support categories. Kerry Adams in Junior Dragster for Performance Wholesale Lanati up against Ben Fletcher. This is for children 8 to 16-year-old, but boy, they take their racing very, very seriously.
Yeah, running over the half track here at Willowbank, but a red light left on the tree there.
So Kerry Ann Adams will take the win in the far lane of the racetrack. You leave too soon, you're certainly out of it.
She runs through 11:72 at 88 kilometres an hour of Steve Sander now. This is the final coming up of Super Street, brought to you by Superformance.
Paul DeBlaine has graduated from the street meets here at Willowbank Raceway in the Falcon, and a pair of clean greens here. The Tirana against the Ford. DeBlaine with a small march at half track. Sanders is coming on pretty strong. Sanders just 12.65, and he only won it by an inch.
Nothing in this at all. Pipe Masters motorcycle exhaust now. This is the final of modified bike. Andrew Ladilli.
And Andrew Ladilli up against Peter Batley. He's got this bike for sale. I don't know why. It's carried him to so many semis or finals here at Willowbank Raceway. It's not funny. Maybe he wants to go faster. But Batley to take on Andrew Ladilli, the final of Pipe Masters motorcycle exhaust modified bike. And it wasn't the bike that red lighted. I got an idea it was Peter Batley that let the clutch out too soon. Andrew Ladilli will get the win. He's just going to cruise it through.
He rides it through a 9.87. Moving in now, this is Super Sedan. Final brought to you by Traeger Performance.
Juan Kudnik in the CCR chassis components car. He's up against Dave Foreman in the NEC shop Chimera. Super Sedan Eliminator, very, very tough. Kudnik won the second round of the Castrol New Year's Series, and he's out in front, and I've got an idea who's going to win the third round of the Castrol New Year Series as well. Traeger Performance to Kudnik.
Tough competitor, Rodney Hansen there, the 308 T-Bucket, taking on Graeme Frawley. Kenlow Race Cars, this is the final of Modified Eliminator.
The T-Bucket gets out cleanly. Here comes Graeme Frawley. The handicap start has gone, of course, to Hansen. Frawley coming on strong. Looks good, looks an inch short.
8.72 there for a win. The final now of Morgan and Wacker Competition Bike Eliminator. John Parker riding the Harley Davidson. Taking on in the other lane, it'll be Gavin Spann riding the Serco Weisco Suzuki.
Spann on the nitrous equipped bike, and of course for Morgan and Wacker Harley Davidson, it's John Parker on the Harley. Morgan and Wacker are the distributors of Harley Davidson in Queensland, but Spann has got him on the line. 7:49, 285. All the big finals after the break. Welcome back to Wreckers Hotline Drag Racing 98. It's the final of Performance Wholesale Super Comp Eliminator, and of course Performance Wholesale distributors of Crane Cams. John Sting in the Dragster. He's going to take on Colin Lloyd in the Headsense Cylinder Heads Commodore. This is going to be tight.
Colin Lloyd leaves first, waiting for the Dragster, but a red light on the tree there. Impatience there for John Sting, so it'll be Colin Lloyd who takes the win, 10.02, 163.
Yeah, a great race. I want to thank Performance Wholesale. I want to thank Headsense Cylinder Heads. I thank my crew, Ronnie, Patrick, my wife, Jenny. Yeah, qualified number 3 with the thing. In pretty bad air, everyone's racing in it, and Johnny Sting is a good racer, a real hard bracket type racer with a fast car. So.
Wreckers Hotline Top Comp Eliminator now. John Payne in the JP Racing GDM Wreckers Corvette. take on the series leader Steve Swinsko in the Chev Beretta funny car. I tell you what, Swinsko's had more airtime lately than any newsreader.
They've done very well in the last few series out here at Willowbank Raceway, but got a tough competitor this time in John Payne. John needs to get these points to be able to get a bit closer. Here we go. Who's out there in front? It's the funny car. Payne's coming side by side. This is going to be a great race. Payne takes it 774, 260 kilometres an hour.
Have a look at this. The funny car was a little bit loose, the rear end wagging a little bit. Payne wins it by half a car.
John, you've broken the drought with a win tonight in Wreckers Hotline Top Comp.
Yes, you could say that. It was a very rewarding final race for Steve, and it's good to see that the car's going well and the driver's driving well. I may not win the series this year, but we're going pretty good, and I'd like to thank my sponsors and crew for getting us where we are.
Let's update the Winners Smash Repairs Track Championship scoreboards. In Performance Wholesale Junior Dragster, Mark Adams is still out in front. Superformance Super Street sees Paul de Blaine building on his lead. Pipe Masters Modified Bike has Scott Jurgensen sharing top spot with Andrew Ladilly. Craigar Performance Super Sedan sees Juan Kudnik further in front of Alan Farrer. Ian Fitzgerald has hit the top in Kenlow Racecars Modified Eliminator. It's tough in Morgan and Wacker Comp Bike as Gavin Spann continues to battle with John Parker. Performance Wholesale Super Comp sees Colin Lloyd edge clear from the pack. In Wreckers Hotline Top Comp, Steve Swinsko is looking strong out in front, and John Payne's now back in contention. Final time now of Serco Pro Stock Motorcycle. Dennis Ackland on the ICI Auto Colour bike to take on Les Donnon on the Castrol Suzuki. Round 3 of the Castrol New Year Series, just 3 finals to go. Pro Stock Motorcycles is the first of those, and Dennis Ackland, well, his heart will be in his mouth. He'd love to break through for his first ever win. He's got it! Les Donnon has thrown it away. That's his 3rd red light this season.
Dennis Ackland will be pleased. They'll be pretty happy. A win's a win, 810, 261.
Have a look at this, and clearly too soon, Donnon goes on the Castrol bike. Dennis Ackland will get the trophy tonight.
Dennis, a red light by Les, and that's a win for you in the Serco Pro Stock Motorcycle and a first.
Yeah, it's a first for me for winning a national round, and I'm really happy we got this far. It's, yeah, a big moment for me. And I'd like to thank ICI Auto Colour, Darrad Motor Bodyworks, NGK Spark Plugs, and Helen Boys for helping me with the engine. And
congratulations once again.
Yeah, it's a big moment. Thanks a lot.
Autobarn, the home of car audio and performance parts, bringing us the final of Pro Stock Eliminator. Joe Polito and the Dynamax Ford Probe up against, well, the local hero, you'd have to call him at this stage, Paul. It's Rob Tucker.
Yeah, Rob Tucker taking on Joe Polito. Now, this is going to be one of those races. It's very hard to predict. Both of these guys have had wins on the board before, and 2 of the most competitive pro stockers in Australia. What a final this is going to be.
Polito won 4 out of 5 last season, but he didn't string 4 wins together. If Rob Tucker can do that, he will, I think, be setting some sort of record. He's got him by a car length. And have a look at that. Tucker's driving away from Polito. 791, the crew go up. That's 4 wins in a row for Rob Tucker. He must have a stranglehold on the championship. Have a look at this. It's a big hole shot in the replay.
So getting away there, here he goes, starting to wind it up. He's got off to a great start. Polito's not in the race.
Look at that, at half track there's already a car length, and looks like Tucker is just going to run away with it by a couple.
Well, I think the whole shot probably helped out a little bit. It's a tough race out there in any up against anybody in the pro stock field.
Oh mate, the racing tonight has been just close. Like, you just cannot underestimate anyone in the class. I mean, just they're all so good.
First Provincial Building Society bringing us the final of Top Fuel Eliminator. It's Robin Kirby in the Pennzoil Dragster to take on Terry Sainty in the Eagle Leads car from Sydney.
2 very, very determined drivers. Terry Sainty really looking forward to a win here tonight, as is Robin Kirby in the Pennzoil car. I think it's fair to say that their wins have really been few and far between. So this is the great opportunity for both of these drivers.
Yeah, Terry Sainty, I think, was runner-up at this third round of the Castrol New Year's Series last year, and then went on to win the Nitro Champs. That is his only win in Top Fuel Eliminator at this point in time. So I guess he's been in 2 finals and won one of them. Robin Kirby's won a number of meetings. He won a Castrol New Year's Series round in 1996. Didn't have a great season last year, but now with this additional backing by Pennzoil, is looking stronger and stronger. Ran his personal best today. Kirby's looking strong, but boy, Sainty has really been stepping up with his Australian-built engine.
He had a very, very good year in drag racing and surprised a lot of people, so he could surprise a lot here tonight. Robin Kirby, he wants this very, very badly. The pre-stage lights are on, these 2 top fuelers, the last pass of the night about to happen. Clean greens, well and truly, Robin Kirby's got his foot into it, going side by side, Sainty, Kirby, 5:39, 3:86.
And looks like Terry Sainty got another little fire on board on that car, heading into the braking area fairly safely. The speed's been washed off, but Robin Kirby's got the final. And a great effort. He clicked it a little bit early, and for a second there I thought that Sainty might be able to drive round him. We'll pick that up on the Wreckers Hotline replay in a moment. We see the Queensland Fire and Rescue Marshal there quickly. The Keatings Pennzoil crew naturally happy. Have a look here, they come off the line hard. Once again, that right-hand exhaust of Kirby's not quite as even as it should be. He shuts it off early. Sainty couldn't catch him in time.
Brilliant way to put it out there with a win here tonight in the top fuel.
Yeah, well, you know, the car ran pretty good this afternoon, and then in the first round it ran our personal best and personal best mile an hour as well as ET. And I have to take my hat off to the guys in the Pennzoil Keatings team for keeping the car on the track, and the car's all in one piece, and we've got the winner's trophy, so we're very happy. Thank you.
Congratulations.
Thanks.
A fantastic final to see out the third round of the Castrol New Year Series. Let's take a look at it one more time in real speed. No slow motion here, and we'll take it from the one camera and just have a look how fast these cars disappear. That speed. If you'd like any more information about Willowbank Raceway, the internet address is on the screen now. And of course the next meeting at Willowbank Raceway, the Nightfire Championships, 4th of April.